A Super Bowl champion.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl.
The Packers' all-time leading scorer.
A game winner for Mason Crosby.
It's time for the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis, presented by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and on the free Odyssey app.
I think he definitely has an aura about him, and just his style of play fits with our other guys. And I think all those guys are excited to play with him. And they all benefited from that.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tommy Wirtz here with you, joined by Green Bay's all-time leading scorer, Mr. Mason Crosby. Good morning, Mason.
Yes, it is a good morning, and all Packers fans out there, I hope y'all showed up on time for work or not. I mean, just don't go to work. The Packers win, just take the day off, listen to us on the radio for all day. I mean, we're here all day for you talking Green Bay Packers. Andy already got us fired up and ready to roll. I could feel the emotion and feel the energy from him. And I mean, whenever Matt LaFleur says aura in a press conference, I think how do we feel about that? Is that good? You're young, Tommy. You're 20, 25. Is
Jim
aura
Nance yelling 6'7"?
I know what is going on in this world right now.
I hate it.
Is this an alternate universe we're living in?
It's just Mitch Nellis takeover on everything here at this point. It is the Mason Crosby Show. We are presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. Go on, call into the show, 414-677-1250. If you want to join the show, be a part of the program. The Packers take down Detroit 27-13 in MICAH Parsons' debut as a member of the Green Bay Packers. And really, everyone else looked amazing as well on top of it too, Mason. I don't have a lot to look at in this game when Josh Jacobs maybe had the quote-unquote worst performance out of anyone else on the field right there.
Okay, and yeah, you say that, but then he also, gets his obligatory touchdown.
Yep.
And whenever they needed him the most, and I think that's where he's such a good back, is he just will keep doing the dirty work. And he just keeps grinding. And when they needed him to run the clock, when they needed to kind of finish this thing off, Josh Jacobs got the job done. He does such a good job of just sticking his nose in there and churning those legs and just getting those hard extra yards. And honestly, it was if I looked at that Lions defense, Aiden Hutchinson, they just dominated him.
Yeah.
Our offensive line was unbelievable. I mean, the Packers offensive line is we can't say enough about how good they were. And you lost Zach Tom on a cheap shot by Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
After that interception that got called back anyways, because the Lions are cheaters. They're cheap shot artists. I mean, how early did Tucker Kraft get in Branch's head? I mean, that was amazing. I mean, he's just on him just a gnat just bugging him. He rips Tucker Kraft's helmet off, and all he had to do was drop it or hand it back, whatever, plays over. But Tucker just maybe said a little something, tosses that helmet. I felt like the Packers just came out in complete control and dominated from start to finish in that game.
Absolutely. I thought that, we'll ask the question here. What was the most impressive part of the Packers 27-13 victory over Detroit? And the offensive line, like you brought up, let's kick it off with them, because I will say this. I thought last year the offensive line was fine, right? And solid, not even just fine, but solid. I didn't see the necessary need to go out and get more.
They needed some pieces, especially it showed up in that postseason game. Some of the pass protection, some of the stuff that they were, they got exposed on, but yeah, they were good, and they ran the ball really well last year.
Oh, yeah. And then yesterday, though, night and day difference. Did you see what Jordan Love was able to do in the first half? That was second half of his first year starting stuff from Jordan Love, slinging it around the entire time in the first half. I didn't think that Green Bay could come out and look that good on offense without establishing the run like they did, Mason. And Jordan Love, looked amazing because he had all day to throw with that line.
Yeah, and early on I was a little like I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but they did what we kind of talked about, right? It was like they're gonna try to run the ball. They had a lot of 2 tight end sets, and they were just kind of doing the chess match early on. And I'm like, all right, well, the Lions stepped up. They were stopping the run. They were doing some things. And then give Matt LaFleur, give Jordan Love, give that offensive line a lot of credit. They adjusted quick and just kept that drive alive. Because like early in that first drive, I was like, oh gosh, all right, this is gonna be tough. And then they just opened it up and they found wide receivers. Dobbs makes a great catch. Matthew Golden gets his first catch. Like it was just methodical and executed to perfection. And then they opened up the run game from that a little bit, where they got a little more creative in the second half. It's like they brought everyone in the box and then they started spreading them out. Just like I felt like that was they did exactly what I hoped they would do, and it worked to perfection against this Lions team that is really good interior defensive linemen and interior of that defense, but they were exposed on their edges. Like, I mean, Arnold gets a groin, right? But I'm pretty sure he was just getting cooked, and it's like, well, I felt a little something maybe need to get out of this game because he was just getting cooked all day.
It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz, Mason Crosby breaking down the first victory of the season for your Green Bay Packers. We were talking about Josh Jacobs. Matt LaFleur comments after the game.
He's the best team guy. And I know you guys saw the C's on the jerseys, and that's a reason why he told me even after the game, he's like, hey, I just want to win, period. Mm-hmm. And credit to the Lions. I mean, we knew going into this game that they were going to load the box, play man coverage, and try to take Josh Jacobs away. And so you have to combat that somehow, some way. And we had to do it through the passing game.
They had to combat it in some way. And we had talked about it, who is going to be kind of that number one? Who is going to be that guy in the pass game that Jordan Love is going to look back and rely on? And Mason, if yesterday is any indicator of this season, Jordan Love they're all his friends. It does not matter.
6 different receivers in that first? I might be wrong. I said he needs to get a little, choosy. He needs to start, identifying out who that go-to guy is. But he just dishes it out. Like I don't know how he's seeing the field that way. The patience. I mean, what was the one coming across the field? I think that was that Matthew Golden's first catch, right?
Yes.
Like he saw him, but he saw Aiden Hutchinson kind of drop into coverage, which is ridiculous that they did that. Just throw him in the middle of the field and have him just stand there. But it worked for a moment. They're hoping the pass rush gets there. Jordan does a great job, just steps to the side, waits a beat, and then hits Matthew Golden there. So I still think Dobbs is probably his kind of choice whenever he has it. But I mean, Jaden Reed got involved, obviously Matthew Golden, Tucker Kraft, like all the tight ends, had a catch. Like everybody was getting the ball. It was ridiculous.
He had 16 completions to 10 different receivers. Like what are we doing? Like just everybody eats, right? It was literally Oprah of like, you get a catch, you get a catch, you get a catch, right? Right after all of this, there was no reason to complain about how Jordan Love was playing. He came out yesterday, 72% completion, 188 passing yards, 167 were in the first half. He had one drive, right? It was the drive where Zach Tom gets hurt because Aiden Hutchinson wants to push down Jordan Love after the interception. Like that drive, he had 2 bad passes. Really, that's what it was.
He got away with one, that Anzalone, that he got his hands on. Like that's the only Jordan Love mistake that I feel like I can point out from the game and he knew it. He's laying on the ground just like, why did I throw that?
Right. He gets a little antsy. He doesn't quite have he
just didn't set his feet.
He doesn't necessarily, I don't think he likes taking sacks like Aaron and Brett liked taking sacks, right? Yeah. And he doesn't throw the ball away maybe as much as he should, but again, seems very nitpicky. And in the first, I really have to say this. I've already made this apology now out there on Pack-A-Day Radio, but as Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness's biggest haters, I admit it. I understand where it was.
Hate no more.
Lucas Van Ness his best game as a Green Bay Packer. That's flat out 100% it was. And Rashawn Gary was a little quiet to start the game. And I thought the pass rush without Parsons was definitely noticeable compared to with Parsons, but that's to be expected.
Yeah.
And both of them looking phenomenal yesterday, Mason.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's hard. Yeah. Let's just stay on Van Ness because I'm just thinking of like all the guys that had impact, on that defense. But Van Ness was like, we can actually say it from this game. He was a dominant presence on that field. When you brought Micah Parsons in, they did what I hoped as well, and they put Van Ness in the interior of that defensive line in third and long situations. Like the Packers got the Lions in the exact type of situations that they wanted them to be in. And with bringing Parsons in, trying to get him limited snaps to be able to like get him in there on 3rd and 8 and let him just be unleashed. And then you're dropping Van Ness into coverage and he folds and Goff is just, he's watching for Parsons. He finds his check down. I texted y'all. I'm like, I think Goff throws more balls to his running backs and tight ends than anyone else in the history of football, right? Mm-hmm. And it's just like when you have that pressure and that pass rush, he's going to come off his receivers quick, try to get a completion, and see if his playmakers can do something. Van Ness went into the flats, makes a tackle on Gibbs out in the open field, or I think it was Montgomery maybe, out in the open field with Edgerrin Cooper, and he was just everywhere. He was dominant, great in the run game, great in pass rush. I mean, it was special to watch, and I'm really excited about. I mean, that defense looked like, and I heard Andy talk about it. Yeah, that defense looked different. I mean, they had 3 or 4 hats at the ball, unblocked hats. It wasn't like they were like fighting and scrapping. I mean, they were getting off blocks and had 3 or 4 guys at every tackle. It felt like, especially early in that game, like the Lions in the last couple of years had kind of dictated on offense a little bit, right? And it was just the defense was just dictating what they could do. They were getting Goff to check down, do different things, and then they were just flying to the ball. I mean, it was a display. And so honestly, the only thing I'm disappointed is that it wasn't 27-6 or 30 plus.
I mean,
6.
it took the
that
best
catch was amazing.
Yeah, right. Like,
but I'm just like, it was more dominant than even what the score
absolutely
showed there.
This is in from Nick on the YouTube chat. He said it's the first time in years that he thought the Packers looked like the more physical team than the Lions. Joshua writing in as well. I don't remember the last time a Packers defense had this gang tackle mentality like you were just saying. I thought for sure the defense would find a way to make sure that the Lions, like, I can't believe they held the Lions to under 50 rushing yards. I cannot believe that. And Micah Parsons speaking after the game, commenting on the defense as well.
Just want to keep ramping up. I think this is just, we've had maybe 2 days of practice together, like of true practice. So imagine what it's going to look like 5 weeks from now when we've got film and we're seeing the looks that these guys are giving us and how we're going to set up. We're going to be a really scary defense.
No. What got me jacked up was when Micah Parsons just explodes between
2nd and 10. As Goff's being chased by Parsons. Look out. He's got him. His first sack as a Green Bay Packer.
They got a twist, another twist. You go up, under, and look at the effort, the speed, the closing ability, the bend. Micah Parsons, you're in Green Bay, and they are happy.
Number 1 for number 1.
Yeah, also, like, Jared Allen's rodeo rope up, like, throw that away. And the one pose.
No, and hey, I got to give my guy Doug Collins a shout out because they circled him on the thing. He's head of security there for the Packers, and his face, he was like leaning between like 3 guys. Like he just like pokes his head out, and he's just like, yes, everybody on that sideline was so juiced.
Well, and we talked about it a little bit on Packaday Radio, and this is the Mason Crosby Show presented by Verizon, breaking down the first victory of the season. Interior, this guy right here, Devontae Wyatt.
Oh, gosh. 4th and 2. They throw him down. That's Wyatt. How about those last 2 defensive series by the Packers?
Yeah, Colby Wooden and Devontae Wyatt also showing up big. When you lose Kenny Clark, you lose that leadership, you lose that mentality, you lose that player and that play style. And Colby Wooden and Devontae Wyatt stepped up huge in this one as well, Mason.
Yeah, like we saw that fine. Like that's what we wanted to see there. When the Lions, were just trying their like final push. They just could not get anything going because of that relentless pass rush. If you get teams like the Lions, like any team, if you get teams into passing situations, it is dangerous, with this defense. I mean, to have your interior defensive linemen being able to put pressure on quarterbacks the way that both those guys were is ridiculous. And again, they were doing it with 4. I know on the sack for Micah Parsons, let's just go back to that. I mean, yeah, Tony Romo says they do a twist, but I mean, twist into a double team. He's basically stopped, kind of finds his way through it, and then he literally was on Goff in like a second. I mean, it was crazy. Like Goff is running like, maybe as fast as he could on to the sideline, and he just pounces on him like a lion chasing a gazelle. I mean, it was crazy to see. Like the angle was amazing too. The camera angle. I mean, you just see him break out of the line. It's like, oh my gosh, like what is about to happen?
Different. The best part of that call, I'll play it again for you. CBS here.
2nd and 10. As Goff's being chased by Parsons.
So he knew. Everyone already knew, like, oh, he's done. And he has no idea he's right behind him. And everyone could feel it, right? And Andy Herman talked about the buildup, anticipation. Like, you could see he was going to close. He's going to catch him. And me and Sparky were here watching the game because that was in the 4th quarter. And we were like, oh, go get him. Yeah. Like, we all knew immediately what was going to happen. And just a completely different, like, I can't wait for Thursday.
That's
like,
that was speed.
That was the first thing I thought after this game is over, is like, I don't want to talk about this game. Like, I just want to watch it again. Like, I can't believe they looked that clean in week 1 this year, Mason.
Yeah, like the defensive speed as a whole looked
different.
It looked different.
Yeah.
Edgerrin Cooper, I mean, he looks like a different like person even than he did last year.
Well,
I mean,
Quay did too.
Did Edgerrin Cooper get taller? I don't know. Like he just looks like he just looked bigger and like faster and better at all things. He was so good last year, but he just like, I mean, how many tackles did he have?
12, I think.
12?
Right? I think he was all over.
I mean, it was just like everywhere. And and then that Micah Parsons play, it was just like, I loved it too. Tony Romo was like, he must have been running really quiet because Goff had no idea he was coming. And it was like the crowd's yelling, everyone, but like when Goff's at the numbers, literally at the numbers, probably like he peaks, he probably still saw Parsons getting double teamed when he got outside. And it's like, oh, there's no way anyone's going to catch me here. And it was just on him so fast. So, but again, Micah Parsons did make a difference just with his presence, with the double team. Tony Romo was talking about it. You're going to turn that film on and you're going to be like, when Parsons is on the field, that defense it does ramp up. But I mean, that defense was exceptional at all times, even without him on there.
Well, and even the plays that sounded like they were big plays for other people, like Micah, having an impact.
Parsons in on this play, which is a 3rd and 7. Pass intercepted. Jumping in front of St. Brown. There was pressure from Parsons. Then Evan Williams has the theft.
This is why you make this trade.
Yep, there
was
it is.
In his face, in his grill, and Williams, phenomenal jump on that ball in the red zone too.
So
totally
good.
Turning point of the game.
Yeah, I mean it's just it all ties together, and just having someone like that on the field, like LaFleur said at the very beginning of our show that we played, is like him being there just pushes everybody to take it to that next step too. It's just like they know that he has that motor, he's going to be that guy. So like let's all just play and like push ourselves to the peak of our level. And I mean you get Evan Williams coming in, get an interception. I mean, our second, like, it just was like, do they have receivers? Like, I mean, it was like it just kind of like, there was never a moment in that game where it felt like anyone was even like close to being exposed out there, right?
I
if
agree.
they, the great catch in the end zone, it was just an amazing catch. It's like, but we had pretty good coverage. It was a good throw and an awesome catch. So I mean, the defense is special, especially without Hobbs playing. Bo Melton gets dinged up, I think, through at some point in that game.
Tom
so they didn't have
and
much
Banks too.
depth,
Tom
so,
and Banks too.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah, so it's
up,
like you put Kennard in, you put in, you're just you plug and play, and then you just find a way to go and be successful. And that it was a special first game to watch, and it's how we used to thump the Lions. So let's just make. I like to bring that back. I mean. This Lions team is I think they're going to be fine this year, but the Packers showed that they are on a different level to start this season. And Tommy, you got to be happy now that we played the Lions week 1.
Oh yeah. I mean,
now you're super excited, but best scheduling decision ever, right? Now that it's 1-0 and they thump them.
Let's just play 6 division games off the rip.
Now it's
the season.
Not to end the season. Now let's
yeah, I don't care. Let's just switch it up completely. Want to remind everyone, Peter Bukowski of the Locked On Packers podcast gives his thoughts on an impressive Packers defensive performance and victory this morning at 11:20 on middays with Thunder here on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. But we got to get to our guy now. Going to be joining us every Monday at 9:20 from here on out. Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette, is up next here on the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers.
At the goal line. Goff! Did he get out? It's Gary, Rashawn Gary, who's been, I think, overlooked with this Parsons acquisition. He's on the other side of the edge.
That is Rashawn Gary picking up one of his 1.5 sacks. Is that the math? I don't math or English, and that was a tough one to come out. It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz here with the Packers' all-time leading scorer, and joining us now from the Green Bay Press Gazette. You can follow him on Twitter @by Ryan Wood on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. It is Ryan Wood. Mr. Wood, good morning. How are we?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Oh, it was all right night. I mean, that was a Sunday night football game yesterday. That was crazy. And Micah Parsons has completely changed how I feel about the Green Bay Packers in about 12 minutes, Ryan.
Yeah, it didn't take long, did it?
And Ness, I think, Tommy now has 2 new jerseys to buy because he's all in on those guys.
It took him 1 snap. He was on the field for the initial 3rd down. He bull rushes Penei Sewell into Jared Goff on 3rd and 7. And Jared Goff has no choice but to get rid of it, dump it off,
check it down
for a 2-yard loss.
Yep.
1 snap, and Micah Parsons like, hey, guys, I'm here. It's different now. And it sure was. How about this? In the tunnel on Sunday, obviously the starting defense gets announced. And Matt LaFleur had called Micah Parsons the night before the game, Saturday night, and said, hey, just so you know, it's your moment, big guy. We're announcing the starting defense. You're going to be last. Get ready. In the tunnel, Rashawn Gary pulls Micah Parsons aside, and he says, hey, just so you know, this isn't Dallas. The ground is going to shake when they hear your name. Embrace it because they're excited that you came.
I love it.
This is your moment. And then Gary leaves. And any other year, it's Rashawn Gary who's the last to leave that tunnel, right? He's the homegrown guy, 1st-round pick. He's coming off the first Pro Bowl of his career. He has no problem being the penultimate guy. He's just, okay, Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons follows, and Rashawn Gary was absolutely right. The ground shook, and it didn't stop for 4 quarters. It was not since maybe early in Aaron Rodgers' career when he was ascending to a first-ballot Hall of Fame status has there been so much hype for a player to debut their season in a Packers uniform. And Micah Parsons, on a limited snap count, absolutely met that hype. I mean, he played 29, 30 snaps.
Yep.
And he had 3 pressures, and each one of them, especially the first 2, changed the game. That initial 3 and out, and then the interception to Evan Williams. And then, oh, by the way, he gets his sack. The Packers tried to choreograph the perfect script. I mean, they announced the starting defense. They keep Micah Parsons on the field for just pass rushing situations. But even still, they couldn't have scripted it better than what it actually was.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was like, gosh, and I heard the announcers, Tony Romo was saying it why is Micah on the field still, right? Late in that game. But it's also all right, there was still a little time left, and they're going to be in passing situations. This is his time. And I kept thinking, get him some reps, right? If he's feeling good, if he's telling you back feels fine, I want to be out there, it's good in these situations for him to get those reps and get back into game shape and be out there. And then he makes that play. And it's he had to get a sack in this first game, right? It's you had to see him do that. And that is a Micah Parsons type of sack where it's he takes on a double team, he loops inside, quarterback thinks that they're free. I mean, Jared Goff set the numbers before Micah breaks out of that double team, and he comes around the corner just relentless. And it gives me chills. It was so fun to see. And it's we had some great defensive players when I was there, but I don't know if I've ever seen speed like that.
I don't think I could fall off a building faster than he went through those 2 guys. Ryan, that athleticism, it was on display all day, and everyone on the defense looked crazy athletic yesterday, Ryan. It really did elevate everyone, it felt like.
I think I saw it described on Twitter as it looked like a gazelle, like a cheetah chasing down a gazelle.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to put it. I mean, CBS was basically the Discovery Channel, and you saw a cheetah running down a gazelle. I mean, Jared Goff had no prayer to get away. Yeah. It was unbelievable the way that he closed space to the opposite sideline. And that's the thing. Not only did he beat a double team and just break through, but the sack, he lined up at right end. The sack came on the left sideline. Like he chased him all the way across the field, and he wasn't going to be denied. And I think that's the best way to put it, right? Micah Parsons was not going to be denied all day, and neither were the Packers. Yet they made the Lions look like the Lions, and that's something that we haven't seen for a few years. Not just against the Packers, but against anyone. The Lions, if you turn on their game against just about anybody, you're seeing them look like the better team. That's what they did for a few years now.
Dominant team. Like even the Packers played them well last year, but Lions bring that physicality. And yesterday, the physicality for them shifted from being the more dominantly physical team to taking cheap shots and doing like little dirty things. I mean, even Amon-Ra St. Brown, like on the sideline, he punches, I think it was Valentine or someone in the face. It wasn't a stiff arm. I mean, he was just taking like a shot, there late in the game because they were just frustrated and beat down from the opening whistle. I mean, I talked about it with Tucker Kraft going at Branch and just being a bully to him, and then just kind of standing there and just being there. And then he throws his helmet, gets a penalty, and it gets that drive going. So it's like that kind of stuff. It is different, and it's fun to see now that the Packers are that team that are going to just bring that physicality and that dominant performance. And now one of Tommy's favorite guys, Van Ness, I will say, like right here on live radio, that like he might have been the most dominant player on that defense yesterday. Like he was the most dominant player on that defense.
And Micah Parsons has been singing Lucas Van Ness's praise since he got into town. He did it during the week, and he did it after the game last night. Officially, that package where they have Lucas Van Ness at defensive tackle and Micah Parsons, Rashawn Gary on the edge, they call that package Cheetah. And I asked Micah Parsons, how do you like that package? And his face lit up, and he's like, oh. And he just could not say enough good things about Lucas Van Ness. Said he's the ultimate selfless player. Compared him, he said he could be a Cameron Wade or Mason, guy you know very well, Julius Peppers, because he's a 4-5 guy. He said it's time for him to show that. There's so many things that Lucas Van Ness can do well. He is versatile enough, obviously, to drop inside. So you look at a defensive coordinator like Jeff Hafley, he's got all that creativity, and it took us all one game to see some of that, right? And this is just the tip of the iceberg, but part of that is getting those three guys on the field together, and good luck blocking that, because that is a lot of speed. That is a lot of game-wrecking ability. I think you're going to see a lot more of that Cheetah package going forward.
We got Ryan Wood. He is joining the Mason Crosby Show every Monday at 9:20. He's with the Green Bay Press Gazette @by Ryan Wood on X. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, when they first lined that up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I was hoping they would do this. Like first off, and then like I go to fast forward towards the end of the game when Devontae Wyatt gets his sack. Like they mugged everybody up, right? And I love when Hafley, I love when the defensive coordinators show that, because it's like you had like 8 guys in the box, and then they drop out 3 or 4, and it's like you don't know who's coming. And Devontae Wyatt just finds a seam. Lions offensive line looked lost most of the game. Like they were not the Lions offensive line that they have been in the past. But talk about like that. Like you replace a Kenny Clark. You get Devontae Wyatt, you have Wooden in there, like what those guys showed as well, because they're going to be a huge role in our pass rush and what this Packers can do on defense. And I thought they had exceptional games as well.
Yeah, how about Colby Wooden having the best game of his career in his first game in this elevated role with Kenny Clark no longer here? They need Colby Wooden to be what he was yesterday, which was 6 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, a monster in the run game. And clearly, Micah Parsons has something to do with that, because on his second TFL, Micah Parsons got a double-team block, and Colby Wooden got nobody. And when you have nobody, you got to go make a play, and Colby Wooden did to pin the Lions right on their goal line. But I asked Colby Wooden after the game, since the trade happened, there's been 2 talking points. The first, holy crap, Micah Parsons is here. And the second is, okay, Kenny Clark's not here. What about the run defense? Like, how's that going to work? And I asked him, did you take that personal? And his face lit up. And he's like, oh, yes, I did. And not only did he, But Colby Wooden got a phone call from his father, who is a truck driver. So he spends a lot of time in a vehicle listening to sports talk radio, and he was hearing the talking points. And he calls his son. He says, shut him up. Go out there and shut him up. And that's exactly what Colby Wooden did. Because if that's what Colby Wooden is going to be this season, the Packers aren't going to miss Kenny Clark as much as maybe we thought they would, because he was dominant in the run game. So I think it's very significant. The biggest surprise that we saw yesterday was not that the Packers pass rush had their way with the Lions offensive line, because I think that's you bring in a Micah Parsons, that's what we expect to see. It's that the Packers held the Lions to 46 yards on 22 carries, less than 3-yard average. And that's the Lions. They run it on everybody. Even they're the one team, like you want to take the run game out of the equation, get an early lead, and that's how you do it. But even the Lions, you can get an early lead on them. They're still running the ball. They run it in any situation on anybody, and they couldn't run it on this Packers defense. That was a profound way to pass an opening test.
Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press Gazette joining us here on the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz as well. Ryan, we've been with you now for a little over 10 minutes, and we haven't even talked about Jordan Love this entire time. And Jordan Love, like the second half, the Packers had a completely different offensive approach, right? Jordan Love yesterday in that first half, like that was MVP level play out of Jordan Love. And to be able to spread the ball out, everyone wondering, like, is he going to be all in on Matthew Golden, or is Romeo Doubs his best friend and he won't pass to anyone else, right? But like 10 different receivers on 16 completions, like that doesn't even happen in the NFL, Ryan. Like, how impressed were you with Jordan Love's performance yesterday?
Yeah, the Packers passing game was exactly what they wanted it to be. And the one word that you can always use to describe their passing game is egalitarian. They spread the love. They throw it across the yard. They take what the defense is there, and they don't care who they throw it to, just whoever's open. So 10 targets got a catch, 5 targets got multiple catches. That's what the Packers want to be. At his best, Jordan Love, and I'm talking down the stretch the last 2 months of 2023, he is automatic on third down. Like he plays at his best on the most critical down. And that's something that we saw dip last year. Jordan Love in 2024 was not Jordan Love in 2023 when it came to third down. It was back because his first 4 throws on third down yesterday, he completes all 4 for 66 yards and the touchdown to Tucker Kraft. It's like and these were
throw to Kraft was special. I mean,
he drops it on a dime. These were third and longs. These were not third and gimmies. And Jordan Love was automatic to start this game on third down, which is what he is at his best. I thought you saw a very comfortable quarterback. We talked about it after the trade, how in a way, not in terms of, okay, Jordan Love's a quarterback, it's a quarterback-driven league. He knows that he has to play well for the Packers to get to a Super Bowl. That pressure doesn't leave. But in terms of the actual game management, snap to snap, week to week, bringing in a Micah Parsons, and you have elite talent on all levels of your defense, having Josh Jacobs behind you, having that offensive line, which gave Jordan Love all day, anytime he dropped back to throw the football. The offensive line, we talk about the Lions' offensive line not looking like the Lions' offensive line. The Packers' offensive line was masterful. You have all these elements around your quarterback now, and he doesn't have to go and win every game on his own. He can rely on the pieces around him and just take what's there, not force anything. The biggest thing Jordan Love did against the Lions, he didn't have a turnover. He came close, obviously, but the roughing the passer. When there wasn't a penalty, he did not come close to turning the football over, and he was dropping dimes. That was a very comfortable quarterback, and that's what every team in this league wants to have, is a comfortable quarterback.
For sure, Ryan. I totally agree with you, and I mean, that offensive line they were just special yesterday. I mean, and they just did their job at a high level. And then I think you got to give Coach LaFleur a lot of credit on how he managed that game. Like, they came out in that game, they're running 2 tight end sets, like, bringing everyone into the box, and like, we will do what we said we're going to do. We're going to run the ball. We're going to do all this, feeding it to tight ends. But then it was like, then all of a sudden it spread out a little bit. And all of a sudden, it's like Tom gets out, to protect Kennard maybe a little bit. They start pulling offensive linemen and, running like more of like an outside zone type of scheme with Josh Jacobs in the second half at times. And it just felt like, I feel like LaFleur had a real good command of what he was wanting to do. And he didn't have to knee jerk at all. It was never a moment where it was like, oh gosh, all right, I got to make something up here, or we got to run a play to try to get something here. It was just like, stay with it, let Jordan Love manage this game, and then just let our receivers go do their thing. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson looked just like a guy out there. I mean, you had Tucker Kraft, Musgrave, you have the tight ends chipping him every time he got chipped, he just was ineffective. And I felt like that was a huge difference too from what I saw, was the energy and effort from the offense, defense, like what the Packers brought versus the Lions. Lions didn't look like they had that urgency and that energy and effort like I feel like they have the last couple years. So just speak on to what you thought LaFleur's, offensive kind of play calling and like what that game plan was. And do you think the Lions truly do you think them losing those coordinators now after seeing them play was a bigger thing than some people are trying to, make it out to be because of Dan Campbell?
You made the point on Aiden Hutchinson in the way that every time Micah Parsons was on the field, you knew he was on the field. His presence was unavoidable. It was inescapable. It was the exact opposite for Aiden Hutchinson. Like, you wouldn't have known he played if you weren't looking specifically.
If he didn't hit Jordan Love after that interception.
Yeah, or after the play, right? He was essentially invisible, which is really, really hard to do against an Aiden Hutchinson because he's one of those guys, and they just erased him. So, I thought you saw two teams yesterday that are in transition. The Lions' transition is having the two new coordinators. The Packers are in transition too. They've had Micah Parsons for 10 days. Yep. And when you have Micah Parsons for only 10 days and you've traded Kenny Clark, that fundamentally changes your defense in a great way, obviously, but it fundamentally changes your defense. You had two teams that were in transition, and on both sides of the ball, wherever you looked on the field, the Packers were significantly far ahead of the Lions in theirs. I think the fascinating part of this whole thing, if you subscribe like I do, that coming into the season, there's three teams in the NFC. There's a triumvirate at the top: the Eagles, the Lions, the Packers. The Packers just did that to one of those teams. Yep. And that's just the beginning. How much better could this actually get? I think you have to be wondering that, right? And Micah Parsons after the game was like, this just scratching the surface. There's so much more that we can do, because he got here a week before the season. He didn't have all off season to practice and get better with these guys. Yep. That's happening now. So where's the ceiling here? It's substantially high. Matt LaFleur could not have handled yesterday better. The best decision he might have made was to have the starting defense announced, because my goodness, that juiced the crowd when Micah Parsons ran out.
Right.
The one challenge that he lost, I had no problem with that, because you're taking a first down and getting the chance at a potential 3rd and 12.
So you're the one advising Matt LaFleur all these years on challenges,
you're the one that
Ryan.
called him.
That's who it is, right? So now we're all mad at you because, I mean, Ryan, like, it was who is it, like, you don't have to out him. You don't have to out this person. But like, I will apply for that job. Like, give me a video, right? Like, give me the iPad.
Don't
and
challenge
I'll be
that
like,
one.
yo, Matt, do this, don't do this. Like, because it's just every year. Like, that was when I was like, wow, Packer football's back. We're out here losing challenges.
Ryan,
like,
do you think this though? Like, I didn't like the challenge because it was clearly a catch. But is there something to be said? Like, Lions they didn't have anything going. And it's like, all right, you challenge that, it just stops any momentum, right? It stops any rhythm that they might have just gotten from making a play there. And so in that timing, like, I could see it as that, where it's like you're calling a timeout and you're kind of just stopping. You're just killing all of that juice that might have come from making that catch just by challenging it. So if that's the case,
decision. And I thought it was close. Now, it was a catch. You see it on replay. It was a catch, but it was close. Yeah, I had to see it a couple times. And so it's a split-second decision, and the risk-reward, okay, you lose your challenge, you lose a first-half timeout, but that's a first down that you might be taking off the board to set them up with 3rd and 12 and bring in Micah Parsons to rush Jared Goff. I thought the risk reward was there, considering that 3rd and 12. I had no issue with that split second decision. It wouldn't. If you're wrong there, the risk, it's not going to wreck your game. It's not going to be like this massive momentum change for the Lions. So I had no issue with that. But one of the things the Packers offense did yesterday, they had a lot of 2-man routes. I mean, they were intent on protecting Jordan Love, keeping his jersey clean.
Yeah.
And what did we see last year? Is there any doubt now that the injuries, the leg lower half injuries, might have had a little something to do with Jordan Love's inaccuracy? Because this is a healthy quarterback now that they protected, gave all the time. And his accuracy looked a lot more like 2023 than it did when he was injured in 2024. If Jordan Love came into the season wanted to show, hey, that wasn't like me at my best because I wasn't healthy, he passed that test. So they were intent on protecting him. The Lions were obviously wanting to load the box against Josh Jacobs. Matt LaFleur did not force it. He's like, okay, you want to do that? We'll just air it out, and we'll have Josh Jacobs pick up pass pro, and we'll max protect our quarterback, and we'll beat you in the air, and that's what they did.
Ryan Wood joining us here from the Green Bay Press Gazette. Ryan, what are you looking forward to tonight? Monday Night Football, big game for Minnesota and Chicago. Like, after Green Bay handles Detroit like that, what about Monday night?
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see that Bears offense with Ben Johnson, right? Because it sure seemed like the Lions missed Ben Johnson yesterday. That spark, that creativity in their offense was not there. Did that leave and go across the NFC North to Chicago? I think that partnership between Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, that debuting that for the first time against a Brian Flores defense that is plenty creative with its blitz scheme itself, that's going to be a hell of a test. I'm very curious to see how that's unveiled.
Well, Ryan, thank you so much for jumping on today. You'll be with us every Monday. Plus, I know you're going to do hits with Thunders on Thunder Middays tomorrow. And what day is it with Sparky again? Now he's going to be mad. I forgot that one. Thursdays, I believe. Fridays. Okay, perfect. So, Ryan, you're going to be seeing a lot more, hearing a lot more at Ryan Wood. Follow him on Twitter, @ByRyanWood. Thank you so much for jumping on. We'll do it again next week, Ryan.
All right, take care, guys.
There he is, Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press Gazette. Follow him on Twitter, @ByRyanWood. Mace, we got to hit to a break here. On the other side, we'll just keep talking about the Packers because it's all Packers all the time.
Yep, all the time, Packers until well, I guess we have Drew at 10, right?
We do. We will hit with Drew at 10 still. So we'll
still talk about the Packers.
But I mean, green and gold Monday for a good reason. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM. The Fan, on the free Odyssey and iHeart apps.
Here's Love, heaving it down the field. And he's got his man. He's got Dobbs.
Talking about great athletes. This is an outstanding job. A tight split, widen them, and then take the roof off on a post route and a perfectly thrown football. And look at Dobbs going right up. I talked to you, Jim. I said Dobbs has to be the guy. He's probably going to have the biggest game for these wide receivers if they're going to win versus most of the man coverage you're going to get.
Actually, it totally didn't matter at all, Tony. There was no need to him to have a big game. He had the big catch, obviously big play there, Romeo Doubs. But really, Mason, wasn't asking for any more out of any of these other receivers.
No, I mean, what? Yeah, you said 10 different receivers caught passes. So, I mean, yeah, it's just whoever's open. We're just going to run routes. Like the Lions obviously could not run with our guys. They could not run with the receivers. And Jordan just had time to pick them apart, which is huge. And teams are going to have to look at that. Like, that's what I want to talk about in this segment is just what teams now are going to have to game plan for this offense and this defense. It's crazy to think now with, okay, you saw a little bit of Micah Parsons, but not just Micah Parsons. I mean, this defense looks like, I remember playing Seattle, back in the day where they were running a lot of two shell, keeping everything in front of them, just flying around. So anytime you caught the ball, you had 3 or 4 guys on you because they all had their eyes on the football. Chicago, when they had really good defenses, with Peanut Tillman, all the, guys where it's they just played cover 2 and they just had their eyes on the ball at all times. And it was just as soon as that pressure, got to the quarterback, he dumps it down or, throws the ball, everybody is flying to the football. And that's what this defense looked like. And now I feel teams are just going to have to be okay, what do we do now?
Yeah.
How are we going to, game plan against this defense? We can't just run at them. We can't do anything against them. What is our plan?
From the Mason Crosby Show and Middays with Thunder, Mitch Thunder Nellis here as well in studio, going to join us for the second hour of the Mason Crosby Show. Mitch, Packer game yesterday. That was pretty cool, my friend.
Yeah, it was okay. It was not bad. I figured I'd pop on. Mason, I got to say, the best part of this show so far is that first segment where, you were so excited. You had so many things you wanted to hit on. So many points you wanted to make that you almost couldn't. You're like a kid in a candy store. You're like, oh my gosh, there's the dots. Oh my gosh.
Just bouncing around. There's just too many things.
And when was the last time we had too many toys in the toy shop, too much candy in the candy shop, too many things to talk about with our Green Bay Packers?
Yeah. I mean, this is a special team, and it's not we would be talking about this if they had played a bad team yesterday.
Right.
But they did this to the
Not
Detroit Lions, right? They did this to a really good football team, has weapons across the board. I will say, and I almost talked about this with Ryan Wood, is watching an Aaron Glenn run Jets team. The Jets look different yesterday, right?
Sure.
I'm interested to see Ben Johnson run, Bears team. Will they look different? And then it is oh man, how important were those guys to this Lions team? Just the defensive side of the ball for the Lions, it was apparent they missed Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
I saw Aiden Hutchinson, loafing some, behind the ball. He was a shell of a pass rusher compared to anything that the Packers had yesterday.
And not chasing the ball either.
And just the effort and the energy. And then it was it's now you have Branch, he's getting penalties. Guys are, just they were a little more of an undisciplined Lions team than we have seen the last couple of years. And it's just, I think it's a lot to do though with the Packers as well, just being dominant and physical at the very start and making the Lions frustrated right away.
I got one more thing before we get a break. We're going to get a little Brewers action in here with Drew Wagner on the other side. But yesterday when we were doing the post-game show, one of the commenters had compared the defense to an old school Ravens with a Terrell Suggs, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed type situation.
Ooh,
in the comparison of Micah Parsons, Edge Cooper, Xavier McKinney. And I got goosebumps when I saw the text. It was, I thought for sure, no, that seems crazy. But then in my head, I was like, I kind of think it's a perfect comparison as well.
But that Ravens-led team couldn't score any points. And now you have an offense that's more than likely going to put up 28 to 35 points a game. I mean, they could have scored more yesterday, and they put up 27 against a really good Lions team.
Mason, I know it's your favorite thing, and I know you guys talked about it, that it would have been great if it was 27-6 and not 27-13. That guy made a crazy catch. But I will say, your favorite thing in the world, if I look at the NFL power rankings right now, the Packers got to be number one. Nobody else was as impressive as the Green Bay Packers were this weekend, regardless of what happens tonight.
It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We'll talk some more football, Green Bay, the whole weekend of the NFL slate. We got to review our picks, but we're going to hit on our guy, Drew Wagner from Forbes Sports, to talk about a great weekend for Milwaukee Brewers baseball still. They swept the Pirates, in case you guys missed out on that.
They're decent still.
Yeah, they're decent still. I know. We'll hit on Drew quickly on the other side. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan, on the free Odyssey iHeart apps.
What's the latest on the crew? Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Thunder Nellis. Brought to you by Verizon, the #1 network in Milwaukee on 1250 AM and 1057 FM, The Fan. Inside the Clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball. Join their fall mini camps at focusbaseball.com.
Bowers pulls it down the line. That's going to get into the corner. In to score, Terang. Right behind him, Collins. And Bowers with a belly flop into second. It's a 2 RBI double. And the Brewers strike first.
It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz here with the Packers' all-time leading scorer, Mr. Mason Crosby. Hour number 2, starting things off. We've been talking all Packers the whole first hour. The Brewers had a good weekend. They swept the Pirates, looked great. And to join us to talk about it is our guy. Follow him on Twitter, @ByAndrewWagner. Forbes Sports is where you can find his work on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. It is Drew Wagner joining us. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning.
How are we doing today, my friend?
Are we allowed to talk about Brewers today?
I know.
There's a law in this state that you weren't allowed to talk about the Brewers the day after a Packer game.
Yeah, we are just hitting on it a little bit here quickly because they had a really good weekend, and it was actually a worthy weekend to talk about because, Drew, the starting pitching might just be here now. It might finally have arrived, and it took until September 7th, but I don't think anyone can hit the Brewers pitching anymore.
Nothing cures what ails you more than a 3-game series against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
That's man, that was literally going to be my first comment. Like, I think the Brewers just really love playing the Pirates. Every time they go up against them, it just feels like they score a bunch of runs. Their pitching just gets electric. And then I sent this guy, and I'm sure you've seen this. Do you feel bad for Paul Skeens being on the Pittsburgh Pirates? Because if he's on a better team, he's 35-2 or something as a starter. It's like the guy's just ridiculous.
I think that organization is just an abomination. Bob Nutting, the owner, and Sherrington, the GM. What did Bush call it in his speech like 20 years ago? The axis of evil. If I had to pick the axis of ineptitude, I'm going to copyright that, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say, aren't
Seriously.
you the axis of evil, Drew? That was kind of.
This is the axis of ineptitude. You have to put John Fesher, Jerry Reinsdorf, Bob Nutting, Carl Pohlad. Just there's 4 guys that just have not tried and are just screwing their fans royally.
Absolutely.
It's not right.
Absolutely.
And I do feel bad for Steve because you can't pick who drafts you unless you're LeBron's son. He's stuck there. They make no effort to do anything. It's a disaster. It's not right.
Drew Wagner from Forbes Sports joining us here on the leadoff show. Drew, yesterday, Jacob Mizorowski, 7 innings, 1 earned run, 8 strikeouts, just 2 walks, Drew. It felt like anytime there was potential for that really big blow-up inning that we have seen from Miz in his previous starts, he was able to control it. He was able to nip it in the bud and maybe put up his best start in the big leagues yesterday, Drew.
Yeah, that was really impressive. Listen, you're going to give up hits. You're going to give up walks. It's inevitable. You have to minimize them. And when you get them, you have to adjust and get out of that inning unscathed and do so efficiently. He did that. The first 3 innings didn't look very promising. It looked like same old, right? Especially that first inning. He walks the first 2 batters. You're like, oh, boy, here we go. Gets out of it and then really locked in there those last couple innings. I mean, he was lights out. And man, then the Brewers need that. You got 7 from Priester. Miz gets into the 7th. Woody gets in there pretty deep. You need that. That is the best medicine right now.
Well, I got to ask it because it's on the top of my brain right now, and Yelich still not out there. What's kind of our thought with that?
I wasn't surprised by that, and Tommy and I had talked about this on the leadoff show. I talked about it. I would not have been shocked. I said I would not have been shocked if they let him sit the whole weekend, and that's pretty much what they did. turns out they didn't really need him.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my thought going into it. They're going to face a little different situation tonight in Texas because the Rangers are in the hunt for a wild card spot. They're going to be, loaded for bear. Doesn't hurt to give a guy a week off. When you have the depth, you have the ability to do so. You're running a little bit of a gamble there, yeah, obviously, but you want this guy. It's more important to have him healthy on October 10th than it is September 10th.
Drew Wagner joining us here on the Leadoff Show. Follow him on Twitter @byAndrewWagner. Drew, yesterday as well, Bryce Terang continuing to stay hot. He got on base with 2 hits and 2 walks, had 2 RBIs in the contest. Is he going to get MVP votes at the end of the year, Drew? Because that's not going to surprise me if he does.
You know what? I don't know. One, I'm not part of the cool kids club that gets to vote for them.
Tell Kurt, right?
Yeah. Get on stupid Kurt. He should. The guy's been incredible this year.
It's been unreal.
Fun to watch this dude. He is really, he's going to have a 2020 year.
Yeah.
The guy's crushing the ball. I loved him in the 3 spot yesterday. I really did. I thought that was a great lineup. I liked him there. He's doing everything. He's playing great defense. He's getting on base. He's hitting for power. He's hitting for average. He's doing it all. He should definitely be in the consideration.
Just needs 4 more home runs, and then Tommy gets what? Did we like?
21
you're getting a
homers.
tattoo, right?
Yeah, 21 homers.
He just needs
21.
4 more, right? Yeah, he's at 17, isn't
he? That's pretty good.
Yeah,
you're pretty. Tommy's getting a little nervous now.
Well,
yeah.
I'm rooting for it. I was rooting for it the whole time. Drew, last thing for you here, Texas. The Brewers in town now. What are you looking for out of the crew to maintain this pace they're on right now to get to the end of the season?
Just keep it going. Just keep it going. What's the line they always use? Keep the line moving. You're not going to expect them to go out there and put 10 runs up on the board, but go out there. This team is battling for something. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere. Rangers are hungry. They want to get back in it. Bochy's one of the greatest managers in baseball history. It's going to be a tough one. But they have played very well against the good teams this year. They have dominating good teams this year. They're rolling against the playoff field. They're rolling against teams that get 500. They know they can beat them. It's just the same old. They have the blueprint. They know what they have to do. They've done it a million times. Go in there and do it again.
Drew, before, I'm going to shift gears for a second because the Packers did win yesterday and your Bengals won. But who do you think's a better team right now? Do you think your Bengals they got really lucky to win that game yesterday? Or, do you think they have any shot against the Green Bay Packers team at the moment?
No, I think they're going to roll the Packers. No, I will say, this pains me to admit it. 2 things. One, yesterday's Bengals-Browns debacle proved the value of a good kicker.
I know. I appreciated the tweet you sent my way.
I feel bad for Andre. I can't think of his last name now. The guy they brought in from the UFL. Schmidt. Yeah, that was rough. Misses the PAT, misses the field goal. That's rough. But I will say, watching the Packers yesterday, that was fairly impressive.
What a guy, Drew. Well, hey, welcome to the 1-0 club, Mr. Wagner. Congrats on the Bengals. We'll talk some more Brewers today on the Leadoff Show. It is football day here in Wisconsin. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk later, Drew.
Sounds good.
There he
Appreciate
is.
it, Drew.
Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports. Follow him on Twitter @byAndrewWagner. He'll be on the Leadoff Show later today if you want to talk some more baseball. But I want to talk more football even as well. Like, yesterday was awesome to see. And then just looking around, the rest of the NFL, we haven't even gotten anywhere other than the Green Bay Packers. And we wanted to make sure that we get a little snippet of Brewers talk in there because they did have a good weekend. But
for sure,
yesterday, for instance, we can go anywhere with this now, Mason. Like yesterday, Sunday Night Football, game of the year already. That was incredible.
Just unbelievable. And let's not discount that Derrick Henry is still him. That guy, ridiculous. I mean, he runs through a hole. If you're not a defensive tackle, you just bounce off of his legs. Like they tell you, like I think Nolan and I were watching, and he's just like, how do you tackle someone like that? You got to like go for their legs. I was like, no, you got to go for his ankles and just try to like not break bones whenever you hit him. And it's like, you just got to grab him and try to like roll him up, because you see guys going to hit, that's the adage, right? Go low on a guy. You go low on Derrick Henry, you just bounce off of him. I mean, it's ridiculous. I think a safety, like one of his big runs, safety comes, fits in the hole that Derrick Henry's running through. Derrick doesn't even see him, and the guy just like his full speed bounces off his leg, and he just propels him for another 60 yards. And then he's just insane. And that game ended. I honestly, like, admittedly, I fell asleep. Like I fell asleep. Yeah, I woke back up like right at the end, and I'm like, what is happening right now? Like Josh Allen. Josh Allen happened is what happened.
He showed off why he was the MVP and the discussions of it last year between Lamar and Josh Allen. And Josh Allen was able to lead that team. And Mason, I'll ask you, should they have went for it on fourth down? Like in that moment, should they have went for it? Like the way this game is going, your defense can't stop anyone. The defense couldn't have happened for either team, right? No matter what.
Obviously,
there was no stops happening in this game. And you're on your own, like 37, I think they were when they punted it away. Like, so they're in field goal range immediately if you don't get it. But they have no timeouts, and you have all three of your timeouts during that. Like, is there a decision that should have been like, was there any debate at all on the sideline, do you think, at all, if they were going to punt or not?
I'm sure there's a debate, but I mean, I feel like you got to punt it away. I mean, you just have to punt it away and hope for one stop at some point. But obviously they're kind of, they're evaluating that today. Like, why didn't we just depend on the guys that got us to this point, right? Like, I mean, you have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Like, it's like just maybe run something, let Lamar get on an edge and see what can happen, right? But I mean, those types of things, we always talked about it in Green Bay, is 6 times, there's like 6 plays in a game that you can always like kind of hang your hat on, and you can say like, we won or lost in a sense because of these 6 situational moments. And you always find those throughout the course of a game, and then you go back and you evaluate and you pick those out. But you just got to give Josh Allen a ton of credit and that Buffalo Bills team for coming back, 4 minutes left, down 15, to come back and win that game is just it's out of control. I mean, and I feel bad because I think a couple of those times they picked on our guy Jair Alexander.
Yeah,
like
he cooked.
Yeah, he had a couple moments there that didn't look great.
No. And Andy said, I mean, his worst play was like making a tackle too. Like at the end of the game, it was like, you got to let him score. You're obviously not thinking that
the worst play
all the way through, but like he made the tackle and then they were able to run the clock out, and that wasn't going to be it. It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz here with the Packers all-time leading scorer. I saw this yesterday and I had to validate it, but so Derrick Henry, this is his 10th year in the NFL now, all right? He is the active leader with 11,592 yards. He is the active leader with 108 touchdowns. Mason, do you know, like, the legend that Derrick Henry is still
he still doesn't have as many yards as high school, right?
He still has 500 yards away and 40 touchdowns to go. In high school, he put up 12,124 yards with 153 touchdowns. And that was in 4 years, like what he did in high school. Like, shout out, you know what, Nolan, you were never going to tackle him. You were never going to. That wasn't going to happen.
The funny, like the second funniest, or maybe the funniest part, is that my 10-year-old daughter was like, I can tackle him.
Oh, yeah.
No big deal. I was like, sweetheart, let's go out in the yard and I'll pretend to be Derrick Henry and you try to tackle me, and then put another 20 pounds on and just a beast. And then we'll see what happens. Like, I would not put you in that situation because you would die instantly if you tried to tackle Derrick Henry.
There was a couple other games. I will say this. I did see the game on Friday. I understand that maybe that was Justin Herbert looked good.
Yes. All right.
I'm not in yet. I'm still not in.
Still
Don't
not there.
care. Do not care. I'm not gonna waver off that take. Other news and notes.
I'm not sure the Chiefs are that team this year. I'm not sure. I mean, they looked bad again, like just pedestrian on offense again. And last year they got away with it. I'm not sure it's going to go that way for them this year unless they get something figured out.
Right. If you guys want to go buy in on Justin Herbert, go ahead. Well, then tell me how you feel about Daniel Jones after 1 week of playing well too.
Yeah.
Like
MVP
he might
conversation.
be. Yeah, he might be the best player in the NFL if we're going to base.
What was that
off
stat
that.
I saw? It was
the scoring drives.
Scoring drives. Yeah.
It was the first time since Peyton Manning's been their quarterback. They started the game with 7 straight scoring drives.
Yeah. And he was like the only in the NFL since they've done stats like with 8 straight scoring drives. I don't think they scored every time they had the ball. It's crazy.
Also, our
Dolphins are bad though.
Dolphins are a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, just terrible.
Prediction here:
endangered species. Dolphins.
Chiefs trade for Tyreek Hill. They get him back. Yeah.
Oh, Dolphins are just full sell on this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, they're just done.
Our friend Aaron Rodgers. Well, more your friend than mine, but Aaron Rodgers is good at football. Mason,
honestly, like until the game last night, like that was probably the best game that I had watched all weekend. I mean, it was a fun game to watch. Aaron was cooking. I mean, he looked good out there. Got sacked on the opening play of the game, and then just goes and throws 4 touchdown passes. I mean, he had an exceptional game. Like I said, though, that Jets team, I texted you, I'm like, maybe the Jets are just bad, but they looked good. And I think Aaron Glenn had them in like a completely just different mentality in how they were playing. And then I got to give kicker a shout out. I mean, Chris Boswell bombing a 60-yarder. I mean, that thing was good from 70. I mean, he hit that thing so well. To be able to hit that in that critical moment, take the lead and win that game is just awesome. There was some really good and some really bad kicking yesterday as well. Yeah. Like some unbelievable, a lot of long field goals, a lot of big time kicks, game winners. But then there were like the Falcons game. Your Atlanta Falcons. Like, didn't you pick them? I thought you picked it. No, was that Mitch? Oh, Mitch loves the Falcons.
The Falcons, dude. I was going up against Baker. I'm not going against Baker.
Yeah, Mitch loves the Falcons.
Yeah.
But I did not expect Koo to miss that kick. That was not good.
Brutal.
Especially, and that was right after Tampa Bay missed an extra point to even make it a possibility. So it was an exciting Sunday. I am so juiced that NFL football is back. And, obviously our Green Bay Packers are top of power rankings wise. I know Mitch brought it up.
Power.
I mean, I think it's probably Packers, Steelers, Bills. Like, is that kind of where
Eagles could be in there still? I think too.
I don't know. Watching those 2 games.
Colts are the best team.
So
in
do you
the
think?
NFL,
so then, would you say Cowboys are better than the Lions?
They played.
They looked better offensively. I would say they would be.
I mean, I thought
like if you watch those 2 games, I would say Cowboys looked better than the Detroit Lions.
Aaron Rodgers also, by the way, 1 touchdown now away from Brett Favre. Remember,
wow.
He needed 5.
That's right.
He got 4.
Did it quick
in the first game. He has 507 career touchdowns. Favre 508. Maybe he could. I mean, if things are going perfect and great for Aaron this year, you could sniff Peyton Manning, 539. That would be 3rd all time. That was, if it's got to go perfect, he's got to have everything going that way.
They're going to throw the ball because their run game looked bad.
Yes.
So, they did not have much of a run game. I wonder how many touchdowns Aaron has on those little, shovel pass, just a little toss on the sweep, which is awesome for quarterbacks that's a pass and that counts as a touchdown pass. But I wonder how many of those he has in his career as well.
It is the Mason Crosby Show. We are presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. If you missed any part of today's show, you can listen anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Search the Mason Crosby Show on your favorite app. Hit the follow button. You can catch up on every episode, every hour, all the highlights whenever works for you. You can watch back all our old shows on YouTube as well, youtube.com/@thefanmilwaukee. We had Ryan Wood on earlier in the show and a little bit of Brewers there, even with Drew Wagner at the beginning of this segment too. Let's wrap up the weekend. Let's go over our picks on the other side. Sound good, Mace?
I'm ready for it. Yeah, I don't even know where I'm at right now, but I think the Badgers did all right for me.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You know what? Thankfully, you picked Yannick Sinner too to the upset of the century over. Hey, I was rooting hard.
I know you were.
And Canada
did you have
a
Canadian flag? I mean, he played. He did make it interesting.
He made it interesting, and I was rooting hard for the hilarity. Like I was never rooting.
That would have
been
so bad.
Like you should have got 2 losses if that would have went down.
It would have. I would have taken them.
We'll react to our picks from the week. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. It is the Mason Crosby Show. Tommy Wirtz here, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, joined with the Packers' all-time leading scorer, Mr. Mason Crosby. And we got to get to our picks.
Where are we at right now? Yeah.
For the first time, I think, in the history of pick review, Mason Crosby, you sit at the top of our picks for the week. Congrats. You know tennis better than anyone else I know,
do.
my man.
I do. That is a fact.
Number one player in the world won his match. Wow. Minus 2,500 to pick him. Did you put $2,500 so you could win 26?
Don't be mad at me because I picked low hanging fruit because whenever you get last place in something like this, you got to start yourself off right.
Yeah, I understand. You got 7 more Badger picks to make too as well this
year. How did your Badger comments go on Saturday whenever you sent that text?
Yes, I tweeted it out. I don't even care. I don't care.
Unbelievable.
Listen,
you owe everyone an apology.
No, I don't. Because
apologize to the world now.
Here's what I'll say.
That's what people do, right? You just put stuff out there, but if you apologize, then we're good. Yeah.
This is what's going to happen. Alabama is going to steamroll Wisconsin so bad. And if they want to change my mind on anything, they will keep that game close. If they want to change my mind on anything
I can't wait.
You
know who I'm picking.
Oh, God.
You know it. You know it.
I hate it. I don't even I haven't even looked at the opening line for that.
I haven't either. I want to now, though.
It's going to be – there's no way it's not going to be 20 already on the back.
You think it's going to be 20?
I think it could be, yes. So looking at our pick review, all of us had the Packers to cover 2 points yesterday, and we all picked it to be a pretty close game. We had Mason at 20-17. I had 27-24. Did the Packers put up 27? I had the Packers score correct. That's kind of cool.
You did.
And then we have the Eagles and Dallas pick from last week. I was the only one that picked the Cowboys to cover that. They did cover. Mason, however, the only one to get his personal pick correct with Yannick Sinner, as Mitch took the Pats to cover their 2.5, and I took the Chiefs to cover their 3. And Mason also the only man to pick the Badgers.
That's right.
At minus 29 with a hell of a backdoor cover.
What a second half show there. I mean, what was it? 14-10 at halftime?
Was it that? I don't even remember if the Badgers
scored
that much. Yeah,
I think it was 14-10 at half, and then they just, I mean, I knew they were a gritty, like grindy type team. They were just gonna, they were just kind of feeling it out a little bit, and then the offense just exploded. I mean, they came on fire. Like, I'm looking at this line. So Wisconsin, Alabama. Yeah, I think Alabama's minus 20 right now.
I was all over.
You were all over. You're betting that, betting line. So I'm taking that all day.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Stop.
Wisconsin with 20 points?
No.
All
do
day.
Do not fall for this.
I don't know. I'm taking Wisconsin to win.
God.
Might as well.
You can't. You cannot do that.
You can't do it. It's not allowed.
But the one pick we are all waiting on also is tonight's game. It has some pretty big implications. As Charlie just walked in wearing his Bears jersey, ready to go for tonight. But after the Packers handled business over Detroit yesterday, now really curious to see what happens in this Bears and Vikings game, Mason.
Yeah, it's it's going to be a fun one to watch. I think the Vikings are the better team until the Bears, prove otherwise. With Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams is, I mean, just from conversations I've had with people that, I've like studied a lot of what he's done. I mean, like they're just not sold on him yet. So he needs to prove that. And Ben Johnson, can he be a quarterback whisperer? Can he get, the best out of a Caleb Williams? They did. I mean, I will say, like, Chicago's sneaky. They improved their offensive line. Like they didn't have personnel wise maybe the worst team last year.
Yeah.
Like until they got beat by the Commanders on that Hail Mary, right? Like they actually weren't bad early in that season.
Charlie, pop in the stream over there. Pop in the stream, and I'll
we want to ask Charlie. We need to ask a Bears fan what he thinks.
Yeah, I'll review our results real quick here. But Charlie just walked in. I'll get him in here in 5 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean.
Go ahead.
No. Oh, you're gonna. Okay, yeah, you're gonna do our pick review.
I was just gonna say, Mason 3-1 in your first 4. I'm 2-2. Mitch 1-3. After that, I know how the mighty have fallen so far for our guy Mitch Thunder Nellis, who was the champion of pick review last year, and now being forced to,
I mean, went with his Pats. He went with the Pats. I mean, that was a huge mistake.
That was tough. That was a tough one. I was not expecting it.
I told you Vegas was going to be. I mean, Pete Carroll. Heck of a
Yeah,
coach.
heck of a coach. Joining us now, Bears representative, Chicago Charlie here.
Charlie.
Sorry, now I got you there. How are you feeling about tonight, Charles?
I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm locked in. I'm locked in on this. I think the Bears are going to go out and dominate right away. First game of the season. Vikings got nothing on us.
What you're calling dominate, not just okay.
Dominate.
All right.
Like 15 point at least.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. You and Tommy are cut from the same cloth. Just ridiculous.
Just
ridiculous picks.
Well, Charlie, you're feeling good. Ben Johnson, I feel like the game yesterday, if you're watching Detroit, you feel so good about Ben Johnson today, right?
I mean, Detroit just looked lost out there with both those
did.
coordinators. I mean, the run game was just completely opposite of what we saw last season from that Detroit Lions team. This Bears team, hopefully with a strong running back room, can kind of replicate what the Lions were able to do. I'm pretty excited, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. If they look that bad without him, hopefully the Bears can look that good.
Right.
That is every Bear's hope. I think that's
yes.
every Bear's hope is that they can right the ship right away. Ben Johnson just brings it in. I agree with you. I mean, Jared Goff, I've been saying this, Ben Johnson did. I mean, he made Jared Goff so much better than I think he is as a quarterback. He wants to check down. He wants to do all those things. But whenever you play a defense like the Packers, you got to try to get stretch them downfield. If you can't run the ball, they swarm to the ball. So you think the Bears are going to win tonight, beat the Vikings? Why do you think the Vikings are not as good as I feel like some people think they might be? Do you think JJ McCarthy is going to be bad?
I don't think he's going to be bad. I just think it's going to take time for him to get adjusted to that.
Okay.
And I think, 1 year of learning under a Sam Darnold, learning under a good coach like Kevin O'Connell is all going to help him get a better, quicker start. But I think it's still going to have those learning, growing pains in those first couple of weeks. And then that defense, while it looked really good last season, I also feel like they only got older this year. And I think that's going to be a little bit of a detriment to them, especially in that front seven.
Okay, well, Charlie Usen, you'll hear more of him on Middays with Thunder today. Charlie, thanks for popping in, my man.
Anytime, I got you.
Yeah, there he is. I guess we'll see what happens here with Bears Vikings. I'm actually very excited to watch this game. I know my roommate, massive Vikings fan, so I don't even think I'm allowed in the house today after the performance the Packers put up and what the Vikings now have to do. A lot of pressure looking at I still default now to rookie head coach is going to look better than rookie first-time starting quarterback, Mason.
Yeah, but
and
it's
especially
just,
after that.
I mean,
it's
just the Chicago Bears. I don't know. I can't. I don't know, but I don't like the Vikings either. So it's I'll go with you. I mean, if the Bears show out, I think we'd be a little more excited about what this season is going to be from a Packers perspective. If I think when the Bears and the Packers are both playing good ball, it makes the season so much more exciting. Right. It's just those matchups, all of that. Nobody wants to see the Vikings put up a good game against the Packers or anybody for that matter. But yeah, so it is going to be fascinating because like I said, with Glenn there at the Jets, they looked like a more disciplined, better football team, flying around, a lot of energy, all those things. So if Ben Johnson was that same thing for the Lions on offense, and he goes to Chicago and implements that culture and the way to play ball, because that's part of it, right? Too. It's not just the X's and O's. It's also mentality and the culture and how you play the game. And you saw it with the Lions. We've talked about that a few times. They just didn't look and feel like the same team as they've been the last couple of years. Even with Dan Campbell as the head coach, he has the culture and he has all that, but just both sides of the ball just did not look to be playing the same way they have the last couple of years.
It is the Mason Crosby Show. We just went over a little bit of pick review, and he came back into the studio here. Mitch Nellis, you are in last place.
Defend yourself, Mitch. Defend yourself.
No, I'm the worst. Listen, I have no idea what I'm doing. Last year was a total fluke. I went 20 games over 500 last year.
Yep.
You got to ease your way into it. You You got to ease your way into
smart.
it. Yeah. So I want to give you guys a false sense of security.
Nice.
Thinking that you guys are special and know what you're doing.
I'm going to say that I would have probably backed you on the Pats pick. I thought the Raiders looked a lot better than we all expected.
Yeah.
And Mitch, can you please talk Mr. Crosby down from this Wisconsin Badgers ledge here, because they had no business covering that 29 points. And then they kind of got something going in the second half that gave Mason all this false hope. And he's about to bet them against Alabama next week.
I know he is. And I think that's hilarious. I'm just going on my phone.
I think that's hilarious. Hey, well, if you go 1-3 again, next week, then just
sure.
maybe you'll be getting some advice from me.
I'm gonna start calling you Yannick Crosby. The rest
You know, Mason, if you want to step up, Tuscaloosa is only 3.5 hours from Nashville.
Oh,
let's go.
You gotta get some Badger gear. We need to send you boots on the ground, like enemy territory.
Let's go. I'll get a media credential and I'll go in there.
We'll get you a credential for
all right,
sure.
Let's get it.
Oh my gosh. Could you imagine?
Send me into the Lions Den. I'll get this thing going.
What is Alabama gonna do to Kalen DeBoer if they don't win that game? Even if they don't cover the spread.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Even if they don't
Nick
cover
Saban's
20.
coming back. Yeah.
I
mean,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be shocked.
You think if they don't cover the spread, he's
right.
What
is it, 20.5 right now?
I think he just said it was at 20 or 20.5 when he had just looked it up in our first peek at it.
But I mean, I'll take those points all day.
Oh my God.
Wisconsin keeps this thing close.
Really?
He's drunk on Badgers right now.
Until they prove me I'm going to ride with them until they prove me otherwise. I mean, why not? Yeah,
it's like betting red on the roulette wheel.
They are a strong 1-1 against the spread this year.
Well, which I feel really good about.
Crushing it.
I mean, they have a better record than Alabama, so I mean, they're a better team.
Wow. Okay.
That's how it works.
I love this. I love it. That's how I've always looked at sports. I'm just like, who has a better record? I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like Nolan's team's undefeated, so the varsity team for his high school has lost a game. So Nolan's team is better than the varsity team. Like that's how football and sports work.
You're gonna get your kid made fun of so hard on the football field.
Oh,
He's just gonna tell him keep his head on a swivel at practice today.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's gonna take a shot. But I do, with Mitch being on here too, I want to talk about one thing that was on my mind during the break, and it's just watching the Packers yesterday. Yep. Watching the Eagles already play. I get we got to watch the Vikings. I think watch Vikings and Bears because those teams could be improved and could be good. I mean, Vikings were good last year, but they could be really good.
They were.
But I watched so many games yesterday and throughout this week, and I mean, who would you put above? I mean, there's no one you're going to put above the Packers right now.
I jokingly said it at the end of last hour. But if there was a power rankings, the Packers really are number one.
Yeah.
They were the most impressive. I mean, Washington won an impressive game.
Washington's
but they played the Giants.
Yeah, Washington's going to be good.
The Packers played the Lions. The Lions destroy the Giants.
Yeah.
That's not even the same conversation.
Exactly.
The Packers had easily the most impressive win when it comes to playing a football. Now, you could say the Bills had an amazing win at the end.
But you watch what the Bills did, how they had to win that game. Right. I mean, I would put the Packers against them right now as well. You have Josh Allen throwing 46 times against that defense. Yeah. I mean, that's not going to be a good recipe to go against the Packers defense this year.
No, the Packers are the only team that played 60 minutes on this weekend.
60. The old
60,
right?
Yeah.
The old to get kids to play football.
Just remember Cam Newton getting roasted by the kid on the bus in that commercial. You remember that?
So good.
You remember that Play 60 commercial. Looking ahead, just real quickly, Packers early 3.5-point favorites. We'll make our picks again on Thursday. The over/under in that game also set at 48. I'm leaning under immediately though on that one. I don't know. I think the Packers defense is just unreal at this point. I'm ready to get that excited this entire time. We'll come back. We'll do some extra points, wrap up the show. Sound good, boys?
All right. Sounds good, buddy.
All right. Can't wait.
Let's do it.
3-1.
3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
Go Badgers.
Literally by the end of the day, you could be tied. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Relax.
I can't wait to take the biggest favorite in cricket next weekend. just Yannick Sinner.
Yeah. I'm only taking the biggest.
You should get a loss because Sinner lost to Alcaraz yesterday.
It's you know.
I'm not sure that's how that works,
I
but
think
okay. Yeah.
I got the New Zealand All Blacks next week in rugby. All right. Whoever Walsall's playing, I'm taking.
Hey, can you remind us though, like, what did we pick for this game tonight? Like, I mean, I've just been too busy winning. I've kind of forgotten.
I think he's got the Vikings, and Tommy, you and I both have the Bears.
Correct.
Right?
Okay.
Bear, 1.5 is the line that we got it at. Updating it, looking over at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. All our betting odds, courtesy of the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Sure.
It is still at 1.5 in favor of Minnesota.
What's the over/under?
43.5.
I like like I said, I like the under. I think this is like a 13-9 game.
I actually like the over.
Yeah.
I feel like in this game, I
I
think
kind of do too.
I just could
Shut
see
up, Charlie. Charlie's not in his head back there.
I just
Shut
think
up, Charlie.
like with how bad Detroit looked on offense yesterday, I'm a little nervous to see what Ben Johnson.
You're like, all
might
right,
be
the
able-
Bears could
Like,
be good.
Not yet, though.
They were lost
I
yesterday.
don't think he's there yet.
So we'll see what happens with that. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers, on 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan, on the free Odyssey app. It is the Mason Crosby Show, presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the Green Bay Packers. We just talked about our bets and our picks. Mitch Nellis, how did Underdog go this week for you?
Yes, sir. I love playing Underdog because you could get a winner. And if you have a couple other that don't hit because of the numbers and the multipliers you get, you win on the weekend. Josh Jacobs ran one in. I told everybody last week to take Josh Jacobs. I also had McManus over more than or higher than 1.5 field goals.
Nice.
And I had Josh Allen running in a touchdown. And guess what Josh Allen does? He runs in touchdowns. I mean, they get to the goal line. He ran in 2 last night. So I am loving Underdog. You should as well. Just download the Underdog app. Pick what all your favorite players to go higher or lower. You can do touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions. By the way, if you rode with Terang all weekend like I did too, you're a winner still because Terang is unbelievable. Download the app today. Sign in with promo code ThunderMKE to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code ThunderMKE. I'm going with Turing tonight again as well. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or over and present in Wisconsin. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Terang.
Nice.
What's on Mason Crosby's mind today? It's time for Extra Points, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Mason Crosby Show with Mitch Nellis on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, The Fan.
Great weekend of sports. What an awesome Monday to be able to come on here and talk about all of our teams getting the wins. Brewers sweep, Packers win. Yannick Sinner gets just a great win on Friday. I know he couldn't get it done on Sunday.
What was the other guy's name? Even do you remember what it was?
It was Felix. Yeah, Asaim.
Yeah, Acai Bowl. Yeah, that's what his name.
Bowl.
Yeah, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah,
He was Canadian.
Yeah, you nailed it.
It worked out.
Tuna.
All
right,
it.
but hey, no, what a great weekend. So
Walsall
FC wins.
Yes.
Liverpool didn't play. Walsall wins. That's great.
Walsall.
The only team that was underachieved is USA men's national team. They lost to South Korea 2-0.
Ooh. Well, South Korea, I don't know.
Well, they do. They have Son.
Are they good?
Yeah, they have a good team.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a pretty good team.
He was on. Watch this. He was on Tottenham, right?
Oh, yeah, he was. LAFC now.
That did not just happen.
Yeah,
dude, Tommy is rolling with his soccer knowledge.
I did not know he was in LA. I would have guessed he was still with Tottenham, but I remember him back in the day on the game. On the FIFA.
On the game.
on the FIFA.
Well, hey, on our soccer fantasy, our Premier League fantasy, Mitch Nellis is in second place right now.
Yes,
my God. Where am I? I didn't even
Tommy's in fifth place. Yeah.
I didn't even draft my team. I didn't have any. That was like Mason Crosby
feel bad
was like,
for you.
join this league. And then it was like, oh, the draft was yesterday. Like, what? Like, it made no
yeah,
sense.
I wouldn't say I'm strong at fantasy sports like management. That's not something I'm real strong at.
Okay, yeah.
I'm great at picking like winners, but just not at fantasy sports.
You're Goodell. You're literally just Goodell now over again.
He's a general manager. He's not the day-to-day manager.
Exactly. Managing the league.
That's actually what I hate about.
I'm good at the money, right? Like I can do the business of it. Yeah, we'll get down there. I'm the cap guy.
Yeah, you're the ethics guy. Business ethics.
Yeah, business ethics.
That's actually one of the things I don't like about fantasy football anymore. I like leagues where whoever plays best for your team that's who counts. Like I want to be the general manager. I don't want to be the coach. I don't want to receive.
Yeah, you don't have to decide who goes in.
I don't want to do that. By the way, Mason, I know you're going to be watching Vikings Bears tonight, but did you know that WWE is in Milwaukee tonight? Monday Night Raw in Milwaukee. Guess who's going to be there?
Are you going?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Nice. I was
do you have ringside? Are you ringside? Are you going to get in? You're going to get called in?
We did not do ringside, but we are on an aisle where potentially it's one of the entrance aisles.
Potential. Nice.
So there's potential for some
get some sweat on you.
4 letters, 1 word. Yeet.
Yep, there it is.
There it is.
Yep. I knew that's where you were going with that.
That's Jay Uso. See, I can dabble in each of your games, boys.
You got it all.
Dabble in each of your games. Do you want to? Are we all sticking with our picks here? Not that you can change
let's
them
go
now.
Back to the game tonight.
Vikings Bears.
Let's talk about the Vikings Bears tonight.
What are you looking? What would be the most concerning thing that could happen as a Packer fan in Vikings Bears tonight?
I have a great answer.
If one of the teams is just really dominant.
That's right. Yep.
I think it's honestly, I think it less if the Vikings dominate, just because I do think there's some expectation that they're going to be really good. But if the Bears just dominated the Vikings tonight, which Charlie obviously believes is going to happen, but if that is the case, then I do think it's like, all right, like this is going to be a fun season. Like it's going to be a little tougher. Packers, steamrolled the Lions, who everyone was expecting, that to be a really tight, hard-fought game. But if the Bears come out and they really surprise, I think, I think that gets the excitement and energy going, and which is crazy because they won't play until way late in the season, right? So it's like there's going to be a lot of buildup and anticipation already coming for what are those matchups going to look like? How is that going to unfold? And so I honestly, as a sports fan and as a Packer player when I was there forever, like I didn't want those teams to be down. There were years where like Bears, those teams weren't as good. And then it was like the expectation was you got to go and like dominate them. And those are tough games to win, whether they're bad or good, right?
Right.
So it's like you kind of want them to be good. So it just adds a little bit more whenever you go and you beat them and you're playing in those rivalry games.
And remember, the Packers now don't have another divisional game until November 23rd.
Right.
Like
5 of their last 7 games are the rest of their divisional games.
That's what Tommy wanted.
That is a weird. Is that Mason? If you're in that locker room, like how do you focus on the teams, like letting the Bears, Vikings, Lions playing week after week after week, whether they're playing whoever they're playing?
Good question.
How do you keep like, are you still focused on the division? Are you just focused on, what you need to do on the field? How does that big picture, division picture, jive with making sure you're focused week to week on who you need to play against?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's, overall record is going to be like the most important thing. So you're just kind of locking in and week out just against the opponents that you're facing, especially with the Green Bay Packers. I mean, they have the Commanders coming into town in 4 days. I mean, they're playing right away. Yeah. So you're going to lock in on that. You're going to keep an eye on like, okay, like how are these division teams playing? Like you're going to know, and you're going to have coaches and you're going to have staffers that are already like kind of scouting and game planning for those division games. Like you're always keeping an eye. You're making sure you're keeping tabs on tendencies and what those teams are doing. And again, breaking and not showing your tendencies all the time, because you're going to face those teams again, 5 out of the last 7 games. So you have to be creative and make sure that you don't have tendencies that you continue to show, that whenever you go and face those teams, you can show new wrinkles and throw different things at them, because that's the hardest part about playing those teams all at the end of the year is I think you play Bears, you have I think Broncos in between, and then you play Bears again,
right?
And it's like, so those are the toughest parts of the schedule. And you're just kind of, you want to pad your stats. You want to get to a point where once you hit those games, you just know that, all right, if we can even split those, or we go and, we win our home games, you're going to be good in the division, and you go and get the win.
And Mason, how much do the Packers need to eat against teams like the Browns, the Bengals, and the Giants? Because we talked about it. 5 of those last 7 games are divisional games. The other 2 games are at Denver, who's supposed to be very good, and home against the Ravens. Those 7 games, I mean, that is a
those
monster
last 7
schedule.
Are crazy. Yeah. Last 7 are crazy. You want to be in a really good spot leading into those. But if you're in a really good spot leading into those, you expect to win those games as well. Sure. I mean, I think this Packers team, is going to have that mindset that like every game they show up to, they need to be the dominant force, and they're going to dictate how the other teams are going to play against them, not react to what's going on the field. And they showed that yesterday against the Lions.
Want to remind everyone,
they were dictating.
Want to remind everyone, you can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday all season long, starting at just $30 a month for your first year. That is $250 a month, people. That's nothing. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. Middays with Thunder. What do you got coming up today, Mitch?
I got Peter Bukowski, Locked On Packers at 11:20, and Lyra Valkyria, the first ever the first ever Intercontinental Champion on the women's side, is going to join us in the 1:00 hour as WWE is at Fiserv Forum tonight.
Nice.
And I'll mostly Packers talk, but we'll sneak in some Brewers talk too, because when you're the best in the world, you deserve some air.
Absolutely. That should
totally
be great.
do.
11 to 2, Thunder, Middays with Thunder. Make sure you guys check it out. Mace, have a good rest of your day, my friend.
All right. Yep. Hey, it's an awesome Monday when the Packers win and when the Badgers win. So let's keep this thing rolling.
Absolutely.
Love
It is the Mason Crosby Show, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're presented by Verizon, the official 5G network of the 1-0 Green Bay Packers.